Brent Lamson here and Jesse Stokey. We're going to walk you through your upper extremity practical coming up so that it's easy for you to screen, diagnose, and treat. This session is going to focus really on the screening aspect of it so you can get through that and then move on to the diagnosing and treating later. So in order to do this, you've got column A and B, and I'm going to focus on column B first because it makes sense to start up at the shoulder girdle and work your way down when showing you this. So when you start out, you're going to want to screen the SC joint, and I'm just going to do that by springing to find out which one is more restricted. And I am going to focus on his left. It's more restricted. From there, you would diagnose it. Then we're going to move down to his AC joint. So you find the joint itself, and you're going to look for the step up or the step off. And I feel a more significant step off on the left. So then I would go ahead, lateralize to the left side, and I would do my diagnosing on this side. Let's just focus on this joint for just 1 second. When diagnosing this, a lot of people spring on the joint itself, the AC joint, but you got to realize it's the AC joint. You want to focus on the acromion and the clavicle when you do that springing. All right, then we're going to move down to the glenohumeral joint to diagnose that. So that's as easy as having him do the Apley scratch test. So Jesse, if you'll stand up and turn around. All right, so what I'm going to have him do when doing the Apley scratch test is reach, externally rotate as far as you can, and internally rotate and try to get those hands to touch. All right, then I'm going to take my fingers and mark as far as he can go. All right, that's my initial measurement. Now go ahead and do it the other way. Okay, and both of those have marked decreased motion, and so that would be a positive test really in both shoulders, but I'm going to focus on the left arm because it has a more significant range of motion issue, so we're going to focus there. Okay, go ahead and take a seat. So that walks you really through the screening portion of column B, and don't forget when you're actually getting graded on this, you're going to need to know your counter strains, and you're also going to want to review T2 through 8, how to screen, diagnose, and treat the thoracics. Okay, now moving on to column A, we're going to move on to how to screen the elbow. So when screening the elbow, it's as simple as having him flex and extend. So I'm going to flex and extend this joint, focusing on the ulnohumeral joint. All right, and then this left one, and it's restricted in flexion, so then I would lateralize and diagnose the left side. Then moving on to the radial ulnar joint, I'm going to passively pronate, supinate and pronate the wrist. Okay, do the same on this side. And there's restriction in supination on the left arm, so then I would go ahead and diagnose this joint, the left arm as well. And then the radiocarpal joint, I'm going to choose to do an active screen for that. So what I need you to do is abduct and adduct, okay? And relax and flex and extend. Excellent. I would focus on the left hand, the left wrist right here, because it was restricted in motion. So that gets you through the screens of what you need to know for your practical. And then after you've lateralized to one side or the other, you'll want to diagnose, and then later your grader will have you treat. In this column A, also I just want to remind you, you'll need to focus and remember how to do counter strain for the elbow and counter strain for the wrist, as well as diagnosing and treating C2 through 7 in the cervicals. So just make sure you don't breeze over those. You want to review those because, again, you're going to be graded on this more comprehensive practical of things that you learned from last year. So with that review, I think you guys will do great, and good luck.